In a world of movie references flying over his head, one man will finally watch them. This is the Matt and Blonde Show movie review.
This week's movie is the 2019 clown pill thriller Joker, in which a struggling clown for hire and aspiring comedian learns the truth that his entire life is a lie, achieves revenge on all who wronged him, and sends Gotham City into chaos in the origin story of Batman's nemesis. There is no nominator commentary this week because the nomination list was rejected last week, and so Joker was a random top-rated IMDb selection. But a couple of personal notes. Number one, this movie was on my personal list of nominations back in May. Jurassic Park beat it out. And two, this is the last movie that I saw in theaters before all the Corona bullshit.
Me too.
Yeah. I hadn't seen it since, but I did see it in theaters when it was released. As always, your review and your rating.
Okay, so there are a few movies I've seen in my life where I'm like, what a great movie. I will never watch that again. Never going to watch that again. It was just too emotionally exhausting. That being said, I really like this movie with a few caveats. First, let's talk about the good stuff. There's a very honest portrayal of coping with mental health challenges in people that have been totally abandoned, like no familial support, no social support. I don't think Arthur's a bad man. He's a troubled man. He's been abandoned by his family and society and any other potential positive structure. But like in a society that is normal and functioning in a normal nuclear family, I got the vibe that he might have been like kind of weird, but he wouldn't have been evil. Like, I don't think that his evil was it originated within him. I think it was kind of activated, you know? So I liked that. He was a really multifaceted character. And then I loved the commentary on single motherhood. There was a lot of that. On a society with no middle class, the repercussions of childhood trauma. I liked all that. I could have done with a little less of this commie stuff, but within the context of the film, it didn't really bother me that much, I will say.
Okay.
I would say like 5% propaganda. And then there was a lot of stuff like the necessity of social services and things like that.
Yeah.
But all in all, that didn't really bother me that much. It was a great movie, 4 out of 5.
Okay. We are pretty closely aligned, and I loved this movie in theaters. And it's not to say that I don't like it now, because I certainly do.
Did you rewatch?
Yeah, of course. Because and I'm glad that I did, because I picked up on some other things that I didn't necessarily see the first time. It's been too long since I've seen this movie for me to remember all the details. So I think that my enjoyment dropped a little bit for a couple factors. Number one, the shocking murders, the shock of the murders was not there. And one of the best parts about this movie is how shocking the murders are when you don't see them coming. And then maybe I just have become more sensitive or more enraged by the commie propaganda. I'll get to that point. But I think you're right that one of the things that's fascinating about this movie is what is supposed to be presented as just and what is supposed to be presented as moral. It's pretty debatable what this movie considers to be good or bad. So just because I see the commie propaganda, you could push back on my sensitivity to it and say, well, it's not actually intended to be good. It's just showing this as a consequence of a lot of other social forces. Anyway, what I love about this movie, Joaquin Phoenix's performance, I think, is top tier. I don't want to fail to give proper credit to Heath Ledger. I'm one of the weirdos who actually liked the Jared Leto Joker. But Joaquin Phoenix, you could make an argument, is right up there.
He really embodied the role. He did a lot of work for it. Did you see his body? Wolf.
Yeah, that was a commitment to self-starvation, apparently. And it wasn't just him as Joker, like the fully realized Joker that goes on Murray's show. It's who he was as this painfully awkward guy turned like celebratory villain, the transformation of the character, and really where he stands out of these scenes where he's laughing uncontrollably and he doesn't want to. And just to achieve that convincingly, I could see someone else trying to do that. Like, could you imagine sitting down and trying to force yourself to laugh, but give the presentation that you're laughing uncontrollably, you want to stop, but you can't? That's very easy to come off as inauthentic and cringe. And it doesn't. It comes off as, it does come off as cringe in that it makes you sad for the character, but it's totally believable. It's a really good performance. And it's, I love these kinds of performances where characters make that sort of transformation from horrendously awkward, painfully sad to confident, almost funny in a way with his dancing, and villainous. It's a real transformation that is it's a testament to his performance. The murder scenes, the real achievement in this movie, and I won't forget it when I saw it in theaters. Almost none of the murders I actually saw coming. When Arthur gets the gun, you realize that someone's going to meet that muzzle eventually.
Yeah.
But it has a whole series of murders that still, at least for me, I didn't see coming and shocked me. The scene, the scissor murder of Randall when he just stabs him in the neck.
It was gnarly. They show everything. And
then the comedy of Gary, the little man. It's okay, Gary. You've always been nice to me. You can go. And he still needs help with the door. It's just this shocking, horrible murder scene that's funny, too. Just a really legendary scene. The whole time, Arthur and Joker leads you to think that he's going to kill himself on Murray's show. And then it's, a bullet between Robert De Niro's eyes and like that. When I saw that in theaters, holy shit, I was not expecting that at all. Paired with the "you get what you fucking deserve" rant, really incredible performance and scene. One thing I noticed in rewatching, of course, the most famous scene from this movie is the staircase dance, rightfully so. That's the big meme of this movie. And it's got this kind of collapsitarian or clown pill vibe to it, like descending the stairs to madness. And that's what he's doing. And the whole city goes to chaos after that. But I didn't notice how many times earlier Arthur struggles up those stairs several times to his apartment. And I just thought this was so interesting. It's like the metaphor of struggling up this staircase, doing the hard, honest work of climbing that staircase to no effect or negative effect. And the symbolism of just instead dancing down the staircase right into chaos. And for reasons you can read about in the review, I still don't think dancing down the staircase and taking that clown pill is the right move. But there's just a lot of really good metaphorical value in that staircase. That was, it's subtle in ways I just didn't notice on the first way around. So the staircase is just a really cool piece of symbolism in the movie. You mentioned the commie propaganda. I think you hit all those points, so I'll be brief with that. But yeah, I don't like them. It
wasn't too overwhelming though, and you're right. I feel like the director didn't really take a position on it.
I was really annoyed that, like, for example, everyone is sort of glad that those Wayne investment guys got killed, but the first two
were fuckers though.
They got killed. The reason they got killed, at least a couple of them justifiably, I would say, is because they attacked an innocent guy. But that's not why everyone hates them. They hate them because they work for Wayne Investments, which is a totally irrelevant point as far as I'm concerned. There's just this recurring theme in the movie. Again, debatable if it's the intended message, but I think it's plausible to interpret it as saying that justice is achieved by taking from others instead of building something yourself. I just think that's complete bullshit. But maybe the intent of this movie is to show that philosophy is also destructive. Maybe that's the intent. Only other thing that I think was something of a negative, or at least a point of a confusion, how old is Joker? Because Batman is like 10 and Arthur looks like he's 50. So are we talking about a 40-year difference between Joker and Batman? And I did a little research on this because I'm not the greatest Batman universe connoisseur. And I guess there are certain iterations where Joker is significantly older than Batman. And to give as much credit to this timeline as possible, Joker is never presented as like some athletic figure or someone who physically fights people, I suppose, with raw strength. He's a crime boss. He's a crafty person. You know, he's a thinker. He's like a thinking villain. He's not a beat you up kind of villain, although he's violent, I suppose. But I guess what I'm saying is, on surface level, to me, it doesn't make sense that Joker is 30, 40 years older than Batman, but maybe that's plausible.
I didn't think about it.
Anyway, mostly because the commie propaganda just rubbed me the wrong way the second time. I dropped it a wiki. I did give it a 4, but it's still recommended.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
And you got to be in the right mood for it because, as you mentioned, it is just as dramatically dark as it comes. This is, you got to be in the mood to watch absolute psychological decay.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as that sort of presentation, it's up there with the best of them. Okay. I forgot to look at the rest of this here. As far as the early audience rating, let me refresh and see what the early vote is. People are right in line with us on the 4Wiki rating. A lot of people giving it a 5 too. So in the early vote, general praise for this movie. Next week, the vote came back for one more pick from listener Bobby's nomination. So it will be Man on Fire, a 2004 Denzel Washington movie I know nothing about.
So much Denzel Washington.
Big Denzel Washington fan, I guess. After that, we have a new list of nominations for August from listener Derek. The nominees are Airplane, Clue, Glory, Kelly's Heroes, We Were Soldiers. There's your guy contribution from your guy Mel.
That?
No, we didn't watch We Were Soldiers. We watched Hacksaw Ridge. Didn't Mel Gibson direct that? I can't remember.
We watched We Were Soldiers.
No, I've never seen it in my life.
Did I watch this in my own time?
You must have, because I've never seen it. Also, 1917, Falling Down, Little Shop of Horrors, or of course you can vote to reject the list in favor of another random top-rated selection as well. And as a reminder, if you'd like to read my movie reviews, comment how wrong I am, submit your own rating, vote for the next movie, and sign up for the chance to be the movie nominator for the month. The one and only place to do it is in my weekly movie review column, linked in the description and over on the homepage of the website. That is mattchristiansenmedia.com.